So in India, we also give out a lot of free consultations.
Okay.
We sell medicines on the back end, and that's where we make the money. And India has very interesting problems, like, the treatment for malaria in certain part of India is different compared to what happens in other part of India. English world, there are a lot of companies that are attacking the same model in different spaces. So they are doing a good job. If I go to home of one of these allopathic doctors, I'm pretty sure कि हल्दी मुझे उसके घर में भी मिलेगी, नीम मुझे उसके घर में मिलेगा, आयुर्वेदिc product उसके घर में भी मिलेगा. Right? So he's not taking allopathic medicine every time.
Correct.
We started in 2016, and it's almost it's a little over 8 years now, and we're still going at it. And a lot of companies that started at a time either shut shop or have been bought by other companies.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Good Life podcast. Today we have the pleasure of having with us Mr. Rajat Garg, the visionary founder of myUpchar. Rajat's journey is truly inspiring. From being an alumnus of the prestigious Delhi College of Engineering and Stanford University to working in the US and then leaving it all behind to pursue his passion for revolutionizing healthcare in India. myUpchar is India's leading digital hospital with over 50 million monthly users. You can now talk to a doctor from the comfort of your home. No queues, no hassles, just expert care. Hi Rajat, it's truly an honor to have you on our show. Thanks for taking out the time.
Thanks for having me.
So Rajat, can you tell us about your journey? What inspired you to start myUpchar?
Basically, I'm an engineer by training, DC and then Stanford University. So getting into healthcare was not really something that I had planned for. But before this, I had started this e-commerce venture that was focused on selling authentic Indian products. So GI tag products, Rajasthan ke product and Moradabad ka brass and all of that, including Ayurveda and Vedic books and all of that.
Shippy, right?
Simply.
Yes. Simply.
So there, a year down the line, we converted the site into Hindi.
Okay.
And suddenly Ayurveda became 50% of our sales.
Okay.
So when we looked at that data, we realized that there's absolutely no Hindi content or no Indian language content in Indian languages. So our thesis was that, if you look at English language, there are like 1.1 billion people speaking English. And there are websites like Healthline, WebMD, Mayo Clinic getting 100 to 200 million visitors. So clearly there's a lot of demand in healthcare for healthcare information. So we felt that if we create a repository that has really high quality health content, so we should see a lot of demand for it, given that India has a lot of awareness and access problems. That's how we, started with myUpchar.
Okay, so that's great. So language is a barrier, like you mentioned. How did you tackle that problem?
So, in the initial days, we went to top hospitals like Medanta, Fortis, Max, AIMS. We went to BHU to get the professors for Ayurveda. And we got a bunch of these doctors, top doctors, to come and create content for us.
Okay.
And we then, had a largish content team that will convert it into different languages, all done manually, no AI, nothing. And then we had doctors in these regional languages that will, read that content and say, yes, this makes sense from a local language perspective.
Okay.
And India has very interesting problems, like, the treatment for malaria in certain part of India is different compared to what happens in other part of India.
Oh, really?
So the mosquito bites are different, the mosquitoes are different. So there's so many other nuances to it.
Okay.
Diabetes is madhumeh, but people don't know madhumeh, they say sugar. So there's this colloquial context as well.
Okay.
So we spent a lot of time understanding that context and, partner with doctors, created that content. So I think a lot of effort went down, but luckily for us, that converted into very high demand from consumers. So we get around 40 to 50 million visitors a month.
That's nice.
Half of them on our website, half of them on our video content, YouTube, Instagram, etc. And they're consuming that content every month.
That's very interesting. I think that's a great journey so far. Can you tell us what are the challenges you face in kind of ensuring safety and consumer trust, especially because it's a digital hospital? So in a digital setting, it's a little difficult, I believe.
See, ultimately, what we learned was that you're actually able to do a much better standardized care in a digital setting compared
Okay.
to all these small clinics that are out there. I'm not trying to compare with the large hospitals.
Yeah.
They also have a treatment protocol, but
Hmm.
compared to all the miniaturized clinics, single
Yeah.
doctor clinic, it's actually much more standardized care. So first of all, when patients come to us, we over the years have standardized our algorithm in terms of what questions our doctors need to ask, what questions our health advisors need to ask, to understand which particular treatment line they need to be provided. Right. Once that treatment is given, we of course have our own medicines now, so we ensure that the quality is the highest possible. And once they take the treatment protocol, then we have a care team that basically calls them up, after the medicines are delivered, as to how they need to consume their diet chart and all of that. And then they follow up every 7 days,
Okay.
right? कि आपका सब कुछ ठीक चल रहा है, आपने, but when you look at tier 2 and tier 3, there's a problem with information.
Yeah.
So people don't know how to take the medicines. People don't know कि यार दारू नहीं पीनी है.
They can't read the prescription, maybe.
They can't read the prescription, so
Yeah.
that has to be
Yeah.
told to them.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of that stuff we take care of, and
Okay.
then at the same time, after 1 month is over, we get a survey done in terms
Okay.
of health outcome.
Okay.
Right. So for every treatment protocol, for every medicine, we have a health outcome associated with it. कि इस particular problem में हमारी दवाई से कितने patients को असर आए 1 महीने बाद, 2 महीने बाद, 3 महीने बाद.
Okay.
And based on that, we take corrective action if we feel कि it's below a particular threshold.
Okay.
Then we take corrective action in terms of a treatment protocol or the medicine line.
Okay.
All of that. So it's much more scientifically driven versus कि कोई आया और कुछ दवाई दे दी और ठीक हो जाए.
Okay. So at all touch points, you are collecting data and talking to the consumer at various stages in his treatment process. That's very interesting. Rajat, what's the vision of myUpchar? Like, where do you want to be in the next 5 to 10 years?
As myUpchar, we realized that, when we look at the healthcare spectrum, there are acute issues which need immediate treatment, or surgery issues which require some physical intervention. Everything in between is ripe for disruption by digital hospital model. I also believe that a lot of the large hospitals will have a digital arm that will be taking care of the footfall that comes to them. Right? They will be treating people digitally. Also, there is a problem of access. So,
Correct.
In case of access, I'll take my own case. I have migraine for several years, and it took me 4 good years to find the right doctor who diagnosed it correctly. नहीं तो वो headache है और वो headache की वो sumo खा लो, and that was the treatment that I was getting. Right? So, what we realize is like migraine, allergies, a lot of the other issues. People keep suffering through it, and they don't find the right doctor to treat that.
Yeah.
So the vision is that we currently treat 30 different medical issues. We take it to 100 different medical issues, cover most of the issues, major issues that happen in India, then can be treated online with the quality that it deserves.
Yeah.
And address that particular footfall, not just in tier 2, tier 3, but tier 1, and then maybe take it different places as well.
Okay. So Rajat, how do you measure success?
See, success is, in commercial terms and personal terms, right? So, in commercial terms, we are looking at views, we are looking at engagements, we are looking at number of consults we are doing, we are looking at the positive health outcomes that we are doing, and then we are also looking at the EBITDA, right?
Any business.
As a company, we have to make economic sense of it. So that is all we are doing, right? On the personal side, I think it's more of fulfillment of the personal goals that I have, right? So I wanted to do something that has much larger impact, and healthcare and our company is able to provide that particular type of impact. And I personally believe that if executed properly, we will be able to create a much larger impact in the Indian healthcare scenario, because people don't want to go, to a hospital, wait for 2 hours,
long queues,
get multiple tests done, only to find that those tests were not needed and spend a buttload of money to do that.
Correct.
They can sit at home, get the treatment done for most of their cases, then they will get that done. As long as they are able to get that trust कि हाँ ये ठीक तरीके से मेरा treatment करेगा.
Correct. Right. And who do you consider competition in this space?
So see, in the English world, there are a lot of companies that are attacking the same model. In different spaces. So in women health, there is Gynoveda. In hair, Traya is doing a good job. In sexual health, Man Matters, they're trying to do hair care as well. So they are doing a good job. But when we look at tier 2 and beyond, there's nobody.
There's nobody
there. So that's
Practo is a very different.
Practo is more doctor discovery, where people coming, I want to find a cardiologist near me. I go to Practo, I find that, and I go visit them.
That's more for urban audience.
That's more for urban audience. If you look at Practo, its presence is mostly in the top 10 cities in India. Uske aage, most of the healthcare ecosystem ki presence nahi hai. Like if you look at hospital, except for government hospitals, those hospitals are also not in these areas. So that's where we come in, right? So there's a big white space beyond tier 1 that we fulfill.
Okay. And when it comes to subscription, is it like a monthly subscription or is it pay per consultation? How does it work?
So we have both models. We do pay per consult. We allow people to take subscription as well. But fact is that Indian audience does not want to pay for consultation. And that is true for even the tier 1 audience. And we did a study around that because we're trying to figure out how to make money in healthcare. Tier 2 is hard enough. Healthcare is much more worse. And we realized that nobody in the world actually wants to pay out of pocket. So mostly teleconsultation is paid for when either it is paid through insurance or paid through corporate programs. So in India, we also give out a lot of free consultations. But then, we sell medicines on the back end, and that's where we make the money and cover the cost of free consultation and the team and all of that.
That's interesting. And do you think AI can really help you in this problem of?
See, AI is going to disrupt everything that we are doing today. So we look at a lot of different ways, and we are doing a lot of experiments internally to leverage AI. I'll give you an example. So, of course, we have a large code base, largish structure, that runs the website, teleconsultation, e-commerce platform, voice search, all of that. And with the small engineering team, it becomes difficult to manage all of that. So we use tools like Claude.ai to help engineers write the code faster, unit test it better. Then we are experimenting with content creation. So earlier we used to have a large team of video editors that will keep doing, edit every video. But now we are seeing a lot of these AI tools can take care of a bunch of that work. Also, we have a studio in our office, so we keep calling doctors come in, spend a couple of hours coming in, sitting, then spend 4-5 hours recording the videos. Then it's a lot of work, right? Now there are tools out there that are allowing you to create clones of doctors. So script is still written by doctors, but they can clone it. So it's in the experimental mode. The first video using AI will go out in next week. So we'll see how that comes and how people respond to that.
But that will be verified by the doctor.
That is all verified. So it has to be doctor-written script. It cannot be anybody else written.
You're just saving on the production effort.
So it takes, that's why I'm saying 7-8 hours of production time to produce like 4 videos or 3 videos. And that will go away.
And it will be in vernacular, regional languages.
It's all regional languages.
That's
it's all
wonderful.
Regional languages, right? So then comes your, even the calling, the care team I was talking about, that calls customers to make sure they're taking the medicine properly, they're taking the dosages properly. We are doing an experiment right now. If that can be automated using AI in Hindi language. And the quality of the pilot that we have done is very nice. So if we are going to expand on that pilot in next few weeks. If that works out, then it will take over a lot of those tasks. So, for example, we do some AI work in the tech side where when people chat, we AI asks the question before the doctor jumps into the conversation.
Okay.
So that allows the doctor to not waste time on asking the same questions again and again.
Okay, so it's like a screening that the AI tool does.
A triage of patient, right? And then once that happens, the AI model suggests this is the diagnosis for the patient.
Sure.
If the doctor accepts the diagnosis, then we automatically create the prescription because we have roughly 3 million data points related to prescriptions now.
Okay.
With medicines and every detail, dosage and all that. And again, doctor has the ability to edit the entire prescription. And once he approves, then it goes to the patient.
Okay.
Now we are trying to do the same on the voice side as well.
Okay.
Can we take all the Q&A, which takes doctor 15-20 minutes to get through, using AI, and then doctor can get a summary of it, and he can just write a prescription and give it to the patient.
Okay.
Which will save considerable amount of time on the doctor's end and increase the efficiency of the platform. So there are a lot of experiments happening right now, and hopefully in next 2-3 months we will start going out with them. We'll talk more about that.
So Rajat, what are some exciting developments or innovations that you see in the healthcare industry?
See, a lot of things are happening in both digital and other spaces, physical spaces. But from our perspective, we are looking at one area is medical devices and diagnostics. So one of the big issues that digital landscape has is the diagnostic input, right? But now what we are seeing is that a lot of things that we need a lab for.
Yeah.
You have these small equipments that you can send home. They can take a test and you can take a picture on the phone and you'll get a report from it. There are also devices that are getting categorized. There are also apps that are getting categorized as medical devices by FDA, which are able to take your blood pressure just by using a picture and using their camera and all of that. So that's very interesting. The second thing is just increased awareness of people. So as people are becoming more aware, they're asking for more, better treatment, better outcomes, and people are becoming aware that they do not have to do just allopathy or just Ayurveda. They're looking for more holistic treatment solution.
Yeah.
So that is where I think a large opportunity happens, because what I see is that in a lot of spaces, doctors and people are married to just one area, right? कि मैं allopathy पे ही लिख करूँगा. There are people on Twitter who are shouting, bad-mouthing Ayurveda, and then the Ayurvedic doctors that are bad-mouthing allopathic doctors.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a challenge because if I go to home of one of these allopathic doctors, I'm pretty sure कि हल्दी मुझे उसके घर में भी मिलेगी, नीम मुझे उसके घर में मिलेगा, Ayurvedic product उसके घर में भी मिलेंगे, right? So he's not taking allopathic medicine every time.
Correct.
And if I go to Ayurvedic doctor, I'm pretty sure कि brain उसको migraine हो रहा होगा तो वो भी allopathic दवाई ले रहा होगा. So there is a holistic solution to a lot of the treatments, and I think that approach will get adopted across the board. And there is a huge opportunity that exists for companies, for the healthcare industry overall, to treat people in that particular way.
Okay. And what is this one advice that you would give to aspiring entrepreneurs in the healthcare space?
Perseverance.
Okay.
Lage raho. So healthcare, unfortunately, has been a very, very tough market to crack.
Yeah.
Right? So we started in 2016, and it's almost it's a little over 8 years now, and we are still going at it. And a lot of companies that started at a time either shut shop or have been bought by other companies. So when you look at healthcare, the ecosystem in play is your doctors, your pharma companies, your diagnostic companies, patient, and insurance.
Yeah.
Right. And unfortunately, what happens is that the value receiver, which is the patient, is not the decision maker, which is the doctor.
Yeah.
Right. So pharma companies are very focused on influencing doctors through MRs and all of that stuff, which by the way is banned in other countries. But in India, you have pharma companies with an army of like 10,000, 20,000 MRs just going and talking to doctors every day.
Okay.
Right. So that ecosystem is kind of set in. And if you go to a pharma company with some new model, unless it reduces their costs or improves the conversion of their MRs, they are not really ready to listen to it. Even though in the digital landscape, you can completely get rid of all these people MRs and go direct to the customers and do the same. So I can bet on it in the next few years, you will have companies that will be digital first pharma companies and who will be going online and selling their products.
Yeah.
And you're seeing glimpses of it with us
already
and other companies that are doing in the OTC Ayurvedic space.
Yeah.
That will happen in the RX space as well.
Okay.
Then we have this hospital, again, who doesn't want to pay for anything unless you're bringing patient to them. And there are companies that have tried to do that, either by, taking registration for surgery or helping with appointment setting. And a lot of these companies are in pain because hospitals did not pay them timely and these companies went under. And there's a limit to what you can do with that. So, when you look at the entire ecosystem, it's very tough to crack, right? Because the existing ecosystem is kind of set in their way.
Yeah.
But I see opportunity. And, as government is saying, hey, you have to be, insurance is, done by government and they are mandating that hospitals need to send all the document digitally, which will force large number of hospitals to adopt digital tools.
True.
So these digital tools will be given by these companies, startups.
True.
So I see a lot of these opportunities coming up in the next few years in India. And largely, I see disruption of the entire model that is happening today in healthcare space, where you will see more vertically integrated players, like digital hospital that we talked about, that will disrupt the way it is.
Okay.
So that's where I think the big opportunity is. But yes, lagna padega, perseverance is the key.
Okay. Thanks a lot for such an energizing and insightful conversation, Rajat. It was truly a pleasure to speak to you today about myUpchar, and I wish you all the very best for the success of myUpchar in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I hope you all enjoyed the conversation equally. Please follow the Good Life podcast so we can bring to you fresh and insightful content on a regular basis. See you until next time. Bye.